Hi guys, Yasser here again. So today I was thinking to start a quick tutorial on Power BI. It's basically a dashboard and visualization tool. So let's quickly get into that. And you can, for example, if you want to download this course, basically the software, you can always go to the Microsoft website. I can say Power BI download. If you go under downloads, this is powerbi.microsoft.com, and under downloads you will find Microsoft Power BI. So you don't, it's a free trial as well. You can try for free, and the Power BI desktop version is free. So if you don't need an enterprise, which usually for training purposes you won't, unless you're creating a Power BI server or something, you can always try it for free and download it free here. Okay, so let's start our tutorial. It's a pretty easy installation as well, so it won't take you more than a few minutes. I would recommend at least try to have like 8 gigs of RAM just to make sure it's not slow for you. For it will run on minimum 4 gigs as well, but for advanced visualizations, I would recommend having 8 gigs at least. So let's open our program. Okay, if you see here, you can try it for free. If you want to sign in and share your visuals, you can always have an account and access it from anywhere. But for this tutorial, we don't need, so I'll just close this. So if you see the main window for Power BI, you'll see File, Home, Insert, Modeling, View, Help. And on the right, you'll see a column here for filters, column here for visualizations, any kind of bar chart, any kind of pie chart, geographic data, and also the fields. You can also minimize or expand it from your right side. So if we start here, so first of all would be to get our some kind of data to actually do the visualization. So either we can click here, get data, any kind of data set we want. It can be Excel file, it can be a text or CSV, it can be Power BI data sets, or you can connect to a SQL server. For this training purposes, I won't recommend you doing any database visualizations. We can just start with a normal Excel or a text CSV visualization. So I'll select, let me check what I have here. A few files to play with. So let's, for example, uh, let's do a visualization. Like nowadays, there's a coronavirus going on, and everybody, it is a thing to be scared of, man. Like everyone is thinking to get some know-how and about what's going on, what are the figures, and so let's do a quick analysis on coronavirus data set. So if you go on Google and you say coronavirus data sets, so I think uh, I found that data set couple of days back. I think if you write together with that ECDC, it's the European basically commission for like disease control. So you'll see the second link here, download today's data on the geographic distribution of coronavirus. Just click on this and then we can start downloading, download today's data. See, it's quick download, small file. Let's open this file. Okay, so if we open this file, here you will see all these rows. Uh, and let's start with all these columns first. Let me just highlight and zoom in for you. So you see basically date reported. Let's just Well, let's just fix the data within Power BI. So this is my data set. I've saved it. Um, I'll just make sure it's saved. Okay. And then I go back to my Power BI and I say, okay, I know it's an Excel file now. I can just directly click on Excel, or I can just click on Get Data in Excel and browse my data through here. So if we go here, in downloads, I have my latest data set here for 19th of March 2020. I'll make sure it's an Excel file selected. We can rename our file any easy name for it. Don't have to be that long. So, but anyways, I'll just use this open. So just give it a minute and it will open it up for you. So within the navigator for Power BI, you'll see your data being uploaded here. So for large data sets, you'll have to wait for a few minutes more. It could take depending on the file size. So we select our data here. And now you can see the first few hundred rows of your data, right? So it's just a preview mode. You won't see your entire file. That's why you would see just Afghanistan here and no other countries, right? So I want to load my data, but before that, there are certain columns that I don't need or I don't want to do any visualization on them. So this is the right time to do some transformation. I can also put filter on my data within the visualization screen when I'm playing with my data. But it's a good idea to always clean up your data so it makes your life much easier. So I'll say transform data. So Power BI will open up a new window for you and you'll see a Power Query editor. So basically this is the screen where you can do anything with your data. So you'll see all the options here and always make sure once you are done with transforming or cleansing your data, always close and apply. So it applies any changes that you do. So the query editor is basically recording all the changes happening in your data. As soon as you close and apply, it will apply those changes. Okay, so coming back to my data. So I am seeing here date reported for each case. I see all the countries here. You can see there's a drop down filter already in place. List may be incomplete, so you can load more as because there are a lot of countries actually in this data. So it's like a global data. So here you'll see all of them. So I say, okay, I need this. I don't need the date reported. So I'll say, okay, remove this column, right? Okay, I say I don't need the date. So I'll just make sure it's cut down to just whatever I need right now. I say I don't want the month as well. I don't want the year. Uh, or let's just leave the year. Oh no, I don't want the year as well. So I'll just say, okay, how many cases, how many deaths, and how many countries. And I don't need the like the geographic shortcut for each country. So here you'll see AU for Australia, CA for Canada, and so I'll just remove this column as well. So remove column, as you can see here. Okay, so I just have my cases now, deaths, and countries and territories for coronavirus. It's actual data, it is current data as well, and it's for it's actually valid for today. It's like as of today, 19th of March, 2020. So I do this and I say close and apply. So it's applying all the changes that I'm making to my data. And once it's applied, on the right hand side under the fields, you'll see My file has been uploaded with all the changes, all the columns that I've removed. So I'll just want a quick analysis. I want to find the number of cases and the deaths that have occurred so far. And I can you can use any kind of so I'll just make sure, like you have a lot of visualizations here. You have like stacked bar chart, you have a stack column chart, you have a area chart, and then you have a lot of like filled maps as well. If you see here, like you can get like a whole global map. You can use all the countries that you have and basically mark down like, where each and every case is happening, and you can color code them. But I don't want to use this. I'll go over the line chart, for example. So this is my line chart, and this is the data I want to basically place in this line chart. So I'll say, and if you see, basically add, if you select it, as soon as you have unselected it, you won't find anything. So as soon as you select it, it gets you all the access for the line chart here. So all the field level details. And this is basically the format of your line chart, and this is analytics. So we'll just deal with these two for the time being. I go in the fields. First, make sure you have selected your line chart. You go in the field, and here you'll see axis. So if you hover your mouse over axis, you'll see what this field will actually do. Fields to place on horizontal or vertical axis. This is your legend. So if you see they're color coded, you can have different kind of legends, like depending on the data set you have. So for example, I have cases, countries, deaths. I can place up a legend here. Just put all these data fields. This is your very important one, values. So all the values data that you want to do a visual, like you want to visualize on. So here you will put these values. And as this is a basically line chart, so you can actually add two data fields because you're actually doing comparison between two variables. So let's start doing that. So I'll say my values would be first value would be cases. How many patients are being reported for coronavirus? And my data field 2, y2, my second value set is deaths. So I want to do some analysis on cases and death. But right now you won't see anything, any lines drawn here because we don't have the axis defined. So we say what's the axis? I'll say basically it's my countries. Okay, now you see automatically the magic has happened and you see cases, basically light blue, deaths in dark blue, already defined for each and every country. If you hover your mouse on each country, you'll see the cases. 287 in Poland, for example, 5 deaths. Is in Brazil, 428 cases, 4 deaths, and of course China. C cases 81,238, deaths 3,250. Very sad, but anyways, let's do some more drill down on our data. So right now, I'm seeing a really flat line here, right? So it doesn't make sense for me to just keep these countries in my chart because I just want to because I just want to make sure like I'm not using these many countries because it's first of all like if you see you can it's a straight line, right? There are not many deaths in these countries, thank God. But you'll see like this is the straight line. So I'm not actually making any um I can't make any decision apart from or I can't do a right analysis if it's a straight line. So what I'll do, basically, let's go in here. If you see the filters menu here and the column, so you can actually filter out your data. So anything that you don't want, you can actually filter it out. So for example, I say I go in deaths, I select the drop expand, And I say you can basically put your queries here to sort out your data. I say show items when the value is greater than, so you can select either less than, you can select greater than or equal to, is not, is blank. So even you can filter out your blank data through using this command. So if we go, I say is greater than or equal to uh, 50. So I say only show me countries in which the death is basically due to coronavirus is due to basically 50 or more than 50. Is greater than or equal to 50. You can do further filters as well. You can apply two filters at the same time. You can apply a filter on your countries or your cases, any variables you have, you'll have the same drop down. So I'll say, and make sure once you've selected this, apply filter. Just always make sure to press the apply filter button. Okay, so guys, as soon as I apply filter, you'll see the graph just totally changed because now, thank God, we don't have these many countries with so many deaths, but it just brings up all the countries which are highly affected by coronavirus, sorry. So if you hover around on the same country, you see France, the cases were 9,000, deaths have been 244. US, there has been 9,415 cases, 150 deaths. And as you move forward, you can see each and every country. Italy has, for example, 35,713 cases and 2,978 deaths. So see the distance between these two lines. This will tell you some picture, like how many cases were there, how many deaths happened. Was it as narrow? This width is basically tells like as many cases were there were the equal amount of deaths happening, which is quite scary. And if and countries who took precautionary measures, who took steps and lockdown and started putting up laws to basically less interaction, less socialization, were actually able to cope up with it quite quickly as compared to countries who unfortunately lag behind in that. So this just a basic chart took us few minutes, and you can do some really good analysis just by looking at this these two lines line chart. So one more thing we can basically do, we want to make the chart more fancier, right? So you can just look like basic. You can quickly do some further, like for example, you want to put like a background, right? Coronavirus logo. So let's see. Just make sure it's not like a, uh trademark or proprietary data. So I just virus outbreak. Any kind of logo you like. Okay, let's just take this. Images may be subject to copyright. I don't want to use this free logo. Okay, I'll just use this data. Sorry, this image. Let's just say save image as I put it virus image. Just save it on my computer, and I'll go here, back here, and in the visualization, basically once you have selected, once you go out. Uh, Or you don't have to select your diagram, so just go, get out of it, click anywhere outside this, and you see the format here, the format button. If you just press this, you'll have a page background. So you can put a wallpaper, you can do your alignments, or you can do change your size. I just want to do a page background. I say add image, right? I just do add image. I go back to my where I downloaded that image, and I say, okay, just pick up my image here. So image fit fill. Okay, for some reason it's not showing me. Okay, guys, so I figured out actually the problem was the format of that image was incorrect, so I just downloaded a new image here. Let's get back to here, and I go back page background, add image. I downloaded a new image, and I place it here, and I try to do the transparency here. So let me check with the wallpaper. Mm, Okay, so my image is there. Uh, I'll just make sure I can set the transparency proper. I don't want to make it too dark so I can't actually view my figures here, all the numbers. And I go back here to my chart and then you select your figure, your chart again. And I go back again here and basically background is on. I just make sure the transparency is set. So my image is also there and I can actually view the chart as well just make sure you can drag and make sure wherever you feel it looks better. Uh, Outside the line chart, if I go back in format again, I just want to set image fit to be fit, or you can do fill. So you can change your page size, you can do your alignment as you want. But here I notice now that I can't actually view it. I can view it, but if I'm sending it to someone or I'm just posting it somewhere, just want to make sure my numbers are bigger, different fonts, you can do all of that. And I also want to show my data access points. So I don't want to hover around it. I just want them to, if I'm sending them someone as a picture or I'm putting on my website as a picture, I want people to just see all these data points instead because they won't be able to hover around because if we don't open in Power BI, it won't be functioning. This option. So I just want to show my data points. I want to make my fonts bigger, bolder. So I go back again. I select my chart now and I go back here. You go in x-axis, you select your text size here and you'll see the font will keep on changing. You can change your font family here. We can do a lot of things, styles, tile color. So I think this looks good. I want the tile color to be black. Okay. I see countries and territories. I can even change uh, uh, how I'm calling these things. In my legend, it's set on top, cases and deaths. I want to make it a different color. So for example, I say mm, legend color. Okay, change the font color. So I don't want my font color to be changed. I just want the legend color to be changed. So data colors, see within data colors, you'll find out. So your cases are light blue. You can change it to, you can leave it to light blue or further. I just want to do further light and I just want to do deaths by red. Let's make sure a little bit more. So this makes it much easier to read. The cases are in blue, deaths are in red. I can put on data labels here. So the thing I told you about, if you hover around your mouse on these specific data points, I want to show these data labels. So I just select it, turn it on. So as soon as I turn it on, you'll see all these figures here, all these numbers at each data point. Um, What else? Mm, okay, data label. I want to change the color. Same, black. I want to make it bigger. Okay, and then I can do a lot of more things, as you can see. Just try to practice. Just go in here. You can do a lot of things with your visual here. Uh, just want to make it look more nicer. So I say title. My title is on. I want to change the title right now. It's cases and deaths by countries. Okay, I'll say coronavirus deaths versus. Okay, I would say actually cases versus deaths by region. And I want to say this is as of because my data is current. I say March 19th, 2020. It's a pretty big title, but whatever you feel like, you can just keep a title, you can align it, you can play with that, change the font. And also I want to change these cases here and why it's not showing me. I can stretch my visual to basically come on the entire screen here. Okay, just make sure it looks nicer. So you have to cover all your background. So I want to change these figures on your right and left because they look a bit tiny. I want to make it more obvious. So I go back, select my chart. What was I working on? Title. I just can just minimize it. Minimize the data labels is good. The color. Okay. So I'm going on my y-axis here, and if you see, you can change the color again. These are my cases, and I think my cases was shown in blue in the legend. So I just want these figures to be in blue as well, just to make it easier for the audience. So you see all these cases here. Uh, I've increased the font, uh, and I title text size. If you go further down, you'll see title text size. So you can basically increase this text size. So just make sure they all are aligned. I'm just doing it quickly, so I'm not just taking care of it. Sorry about that. And Y2 axis, if I go here, Y2, if you can see, was my data about the deaths. So if you come here, Y2 was deaths, and my value is Y1. Basically, Y-axis was cases, and then Y2 on your right is all my deaths. So I go in the format again. I go into the Y2 axis. I change the color to red. Recent colors, you can see it changed, and then I just make the text size look, and you'll see on the right, it's more visible now. You can change all your data colors as well. You can do a lot of things basically. Uh, I'm going in my background and I think I have to make it a little bit more lighter so it's easier to read. And you can have like really nice fancy pictures and you can change all these fonts. You can remove these underscores here between the countries, make the title more fancier. So these are some things you can do, guys. This was in this tutorial, we just discussed the basic line chart. And in further tutorials, hopefully we will explore more charts, pie charts, and geographic regions and time series data. different kind of data you want to report on. Okay, and now in the end, once you're done with that, just go to File. You say, I want to just save it first. Let's make sure. Okay, go here. Data sets. I say coronavirus analysis. And I've saved it. And if I want to share it with someone or want to post it on any channel or any social media or just to my friends or colleagues or work, I just click on export. I say export to PDF, so it's easier to read, it's easier to share because not everyone would have Power BI. So you see these great lines here, guys. Sorry. So I forgot to remove those great lines. Doesn't look fancy at all. So if I go back here, I don't have to select my picture. Let's go somewhere else. If you go in view, you have the grid line selected. You can remove them. So back to where it was showing me grid lines. So if you go within, if you see these lines, when I export it, it looks, the picture is out and you see all these lines here. So I forgot to turn off the grid line. So if you go in your if you go in your y-axis, if you go further down, you'll see there's an option for grid lines. It's turned on. You can turn off. As soon as you turn off, you'll see all these lines disappear. So I'll just save it again. I go back here. I export my data, export to PDF, generating my PDF, and here you go. So we have our PDF ready, guys, and you can share it with anyone. And as more time you spent on it, you can make it more fancier. You can do different kind of variations within your visuals and a lot of really cool things that you can do with this tool. Okay, thanks everyone, and stay tuned for my next video coming out very soon. Thank you.